Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day before starting the video. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital recaps and updates for Wednesday. June 11th reveal Lucky Spencer's, Jonathan Jackson goodbye. Martin Gray's, Michael E. Knight ambulance chase, and Michael Corinthos's, Rory Gibson bombshell. Also, Trina Robinson, Tabayana Ali, had a discussion. Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, was in distress. Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, was on the warpath, and Felicia Scorpio, Christina Wagner, accepted a new mission. From her office, Laura Collins, Jeannie Francis, finds out from Lucky that he's leaving Port Charles again. Since he thinks this is the best choice for him, she supports it. He feels like he's letting her down. She inquires about the reason and discovers that Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, rejected his marriage proposal, even though she has feelings for him. Laura expresses her sympathy, and they talk about how his adventurous nature comes from his parents, which is why she understands his decision. She appreciates having him around for a time. No matter where he goes, everyone will care for him. She asks him to have Aiden Spencer, Colin Cassidy, take plenty of pictures this summer and encourages him to stay in touch more frequently. He agrees. They share a hug, and she gets emotional. After he leaves, she does some work before gazing at a childhood photo of Lucky and kissing it. At the hospital, Martin begins chasing ambulances with Liz. She is unable to assist him. Then Tracy Quartermain, Jane Elliott, shows up, asking, "Who let you out?" She mentions that his ex-wives sent her thank you notes and flower bouquets. Blair Kramer's, Cassie DePaiva, was extravagant. She laughs. "Just like her," Martin retorts with a forced grin. They exchange playful remarks, and he hints that she should treat him better. She might require his help soon, and she informs him that Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, set her up. He inquires how she can prove it, aware that Drew could complicate her situation. He offers to assist, but warns it will come at a price. At the Metro Court pool, Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, confesses to Trina that he heard something at her parents' house that he shouldn't have. He mentions that her dad is looking for Jacinda, Paige Herschel, to get her to confess that Portia drugged her and made her fake those photos with Drew. Trina is puzzled. They think about what this could mean, and she questions if Drew is lying about the photos being staged with the escort. How is her mother involved? None of this is clear, but she believes there must be a reason. She decides not to ask her parents. She trusts them, but she doesn't trust Drew and wants Kai to keep quiet. He agrees and dives into the pool. Isaiah Gannon, Sawandi Wilson, walks in to find Portia hurling her phone across the office. She insists that her frustration stems from the incessant spam calls. He feels relieved, believing her anger is not related to her dishonesty with her husband. He shares his concern, stating he overheard if Curtis discovered she was being untruthful, it could spell the end of their marriage. While that's all he can offer, he lets her know he's available to listen if she wants to express her feelings. He also suggests that she should take a moment to reflect before making any rash decisions. Portia, however, feels he has overstepped and firmly sets him straight. Gannon visits the hub and informs Liz about losing Lucky but acquiring a cabin. She was unaware that he had given it away, and he inquires why she rejected Lucky. Although she was tempted, she realized it wouldn't have been successful. At the airport, Lucky tells Aiden that they will remain in Paris for a bit, but will begin their journey in Amsterdam, in his grandfather's familiar territory. Lucky receives a text from Liz asking him to hold on, and Aiden boards the plane. And when Lucky spots Liz, he observes that she has no luggage. She considered joining him, but ultimately didn't want him to leave without knowing that she loves him and will always love him. He feels the same way, and they part ways with a kiss. Felicia arrives at Curtis Ashford's, Donald Turner office. He wants to hire her to find someone who has disappeared and tells her about Jacinda, Paige Herschel. Felicia asks if he will Let her be if she refuses to be sensationalized, should she find the woman, and he agrees and only wants to speak with her. Felicia accepts the deal, but then Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper, interrupts. Felicia leaves, and Jordan suspects she is going to find Jacinda. He agrees and plans to use her to take down Drew. Jordan is concerned it will lead to more trouble. The moment he pays Jacinda to lie, he risks losing his reputation, integrity, and possibly his freedom. Nevertheless, Curtis cannot let this go. At Chew. Home, Willow listens to Nina as she talks about her time on the stand, and believes she made a strong impression on the judge. She acknowledges that she would have agreed to a compromise if Michael wanted that. Drew comes in and hugs Willow. He feels that Michael should lose the kids. They can start fresh in D.C. when she gets the kids back. Nina finds it hard to hide her feelings when he says that. When Willow leaves the room, Nina asks if Drew really meant what he just said. He thinks she was amazing in court and is confident she'll get her kids back. He calls her a saint for helping deliver Sasha Corbin's, Sophia Matson, baby, but Willow brushes it off. She's just a nurse. Willow regrets how things have escalated and feels hurt that Michael would lie about Wiley Corinthos, Viren Weaver. Nina wonders if Wiley misunderstood, but Willow believes her ex is trying to control her. She tells him, this is really affecting her, as Drew insists that Michael is the real villain, not him. She mentions that Willow was open to finding a solution when Wiley supposedly found out that Michael doesn't want him because of the new baby. She questions if Drew played a part in this and asks if he could be so heartless as to fabricate this. Drew replies that what Wiley heard was what the judge needed to know. She will agree once her daughter secures custody. Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, finds Michael with Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, and Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, and says if he loses the case, he'll take his kids out of the country. Carly is against this. What about Sasha and Daisy Gilmore Corinthos, Levi Clark Coughlin? Michael explains that Drew made Wiley believe he doesn't want to be with him or Amelia anymore, now that he has Daisy. Son of a bitch, Sonny exclaimed. Michael agrees to let Sasha raise Daisy as she wishes, though they regret their one-night stand. They don't regret having Daisy. He explains now that the secret is out, if it might cost him custody. He mentions he'll go somewhere he can't be found, and Carly panics. He doesn't want this, but his kids are his priority, and Drew can do no wrong in Willow's eyes. Jason pledges his continued help to Sasha and Daisy, and he understands that Michael may do what he has to do and pledges his support as well. Sonny gets an unexpected phone call and has to leave, and Michael says he wants to get the kids and take them to their favorite park. Carly again disagrees, and Michael leaves to get the kids to go to the park. There they encounter Willow, who had left Drew's house to go clear her head. Wiley hurries to his mom in the park, and they allow the kids to play. While they talk about the decisions they made, they receive notifications and understand that the judge has likely reached a decision. Port Charles was awash in heavy goodbyes, surprise revelations, and ominous shifts on Tuesday, June 11th, as General Hospital delivered an emotional episode that marked Lucky Spencer's final moments in town, and Michael Corinthos dropping a bombshell that could change everything. Lucky's farewell, a bittersweet exit. At Laura Collins' house, emotions ran high as Lucky Spencer packed his last bag. The weight of his decision to leave Port Charles again was evident, especially in his lingering glances and long silences. Laura tried to stay strong, offering her son heartfelt support, though her eyes brimmed with tears. She told Lucky that she understood he needed to find peace, even if it meant leaving his family behind for a while. Kevin offered some encouraging words and reminded Lucky that healing sometimes comes in solitude, especially for someone with a past as complicated as his. Lucky admitted that although he didn't have all the answers, staying any longer felt like holding back the inevitable. He confessed he'd been drifting since returning and that it was time to truly search for purpose, not just ghosts from his past. Before heading out, Lucky had a poignant moment with Elizabeth Weber. The two shared memories of their younger days, dancing around the topic of love and regret. Liz, despite still carrying emotional scars from their turbulent history, told Lucky that he would always have a place in her heart. Lucky told her, "You've always been my compass, even when I was too stubborn to follow it." As he walked out the door for what might be the last time, Lucky paused and looked back, locking eyes with Laura, Liz, and Kevin. With a faint smile and a nod, he disappeared down the steps, leaving behind a trail of unspoken promises and memories. Fans felt the weight of decades in that quiet goodbye. Michael drops a bombshell over at the Quartermain mansion. Michael Corinthos was a man on edge, and with good reason. The family had gathered in the living room, suspecting Michael had called them together for something major. Tracy, ever skeptical, made a snarky remark about Michael running for office, but her sarcasm was soon silenced. Michael stood up, took a deep breath, and made his shocking announcement. He planned to step down from ELQ and name Sasha Gilmore as his successor. The room erupted. Brooke Lynn, still fresh off her own business battles, was stunned. Ned tried to keep a neutral face, but his clenched jaw told another story. Monica looked concerned, while Tracy practically choked on her martini. Michael explained his decision calmly. He said the recent family drama and the baby he just welcomed with Sasha had realigned his priorities. "I need to be a father first," he said, "and Sasha has proven herself. She understands what ELQ stands for, and she's earned my trust." Of course, the bombshell wasn't just about his resignation. It was about his trust in Sasha, a woman who'd once pretended to be Nina's daughter and struggled with addiction, but who had come a long way. Sasha, clearly blindsided by Michael's public offer, remained quiet at first. When she finally found her voice, she expressed her gratitude but said she needed time to consider. Tracy, ever the tactician, muttered that Sasha was a beautiful PR disaster waiting to happen. But Michael stood firm. "If we want ELQ to evolve, we need to take bold steps," he told the room. "And Sasha understands hardship, resilience, and integrity better than most of us." The family had no choice but to sit with the news, some bristling with resistance, others quietly intrigued. Jason and Sam. A familiar spark elsewhere in town, Jason Morgan had a brief yet intense encounter with Sam McCall at Kelly's. They'd run into each other unexpectedly, and for a moment, time seemed to slow. They sat down, and the tension between them was unmistakable. Jason asked about Scout and told Sam he was proud of how she's handled Drew's chaos. Sam admitted things had been difficult, especially with Drew's increasingly manipulative behavior. "It's like he's not the same man anymore," she confessed. There was a softening in Jason's usually stoic expression. "If you ever need me, anything, I'm here." Sam nodded, and for a brief moment, it felt like the embers of Jasam still glowed quietly beneath the surface. Willow senses. Trouble back at the gatehouse, Willow Corinthos could sense something was shifting. Michael had left without much explanation, and her instincts told her his meeting at the mansion wasn't just business. When he returned, Willow gently pushed for answers. Michael finally told her what happened, that he stepped down from ELQ and offered Sasha the position. Willow was surprised, but she didn't object. In fact, she seemed relieved to see Michael finally putting his family first. Still, something gnawed at Willow, especially when Michael mentioned Tracy's reaction. "There's going to be backlash," she warned. "Be prepared, especially from those who think Sasha's past makes her a liability." Drew's new play? Meanwhile, Drew Kane was watching the Quartermain shakeup from the sidelines, and he looked like a man planning his next move. Sitting alone in his Aurora office, he smirked while reading the news of Michael's resignation on his tablet. "Let the games begin," he muttered to himself. There's no doubt Drew will use this opportunity to wedge himself deeper into the corporate world. especially now that Michael is stepping aside. And viewers know Drew's transformation into a darker, colder version of himself is far from over. Curtis and Portia's quiet realization. At the Savoy, Curtis and Portia shared a quiet drink, reflecting on how quickly things are changing in their social circles. Portia expressed concern for Trina, who's still keeping her distance after the DNA scandal fallout. Curtis reminded her that healing takes time, but his voice betrayed a quiet pain. The couple sat in silence, sipping their drinks, while the EIR sound of a slow jazz ballad filled the air. Curtis looked over at Portia and said, "We have to be strong, for her. No matter what happens next." Closing montage. The calm before the storm. The episode closed with a montage. Lucky stepping onto a plane, his face contemplative as the engines roared to life. Michael and Sasha sharing a quiet moment by the fireplace. Daisy asleep in her arms. Jason watching the harbor, his eyes scanning the water, perhaps wondering if peace will ever truly come. Drew lighting a cigar, bathed in darkness, looking every bit the schemer he's become. Laura standing at her window whispering, "Be safe, Lucky," as the wind blew through the curtains. Coming up. Tensions rise over Michael's bold move. Sasha faces her biggest test yet, and Drew makes a dangerous alliance. Plus, is Sam about to uncover something shocking about Scout's custody? Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.